All right. Good morning. I don't even know what time it is because I don't have my watch on, but I know that it is after 10. Oh, it's 10:15. Oh well. Hey, this is a spur of the moment thing. I just thought of yesterday that I wanted to jump out here and I wanted to share with you guys doing the resin pour on the burls, the pecan tree burls, the pecan tree root burls, and also working on the jar, if you will, with the Chromacraft Rustina metallic paint. So again, spur of the moment, just kind of tossing it together. Got a ton of other things going on. It's a Friday, but it's always good to get out here and get some extra testing. And I had some other plans for this, but of course, time always seems to get away from me. So the two main things we're doing here today is the burls, casting the burls for making blanks for the keyring, the hand sanitizer keyring kits. I want to cast these up, and this is going to be pretty good size, and I can cut it into a number of small blanks, actually quite a few small blanks. So with that being said, I'm using the Chromacraft resin, which I'm going to show you here real quick. Now the Chromacraft resin, the 2000 LV, is a 2-hour open time. So my goal was to get this mixed about 8:30, so it'd be about an hour and a half out. It was more like 9:15, 9:30 when I actually got this mixed. The reason that's important, and I should switch cameras or you can't see what I was stirring. You can see here now. It's important because when I do the two colors that we're going to do, if I put it in the mold before it is getting close to setting up, then it's going to, the colors are going to merge more. So with a long open time, slow cure resin, you have to kind of plan ahead to make sure that your colors don't have too much time to migrate before they go into the pressure pot. So that's why I was trying to get this mixed about 8:30. Yeah. Got it mixed about 9:30. So it's only been mixed about an hour. It was 9:15, 9:20 when I mixed it. So it's been mixed about an hour. So I'm going to let that sit, but since we're here, I'm going to mix this at the end. I'm going to put as much time into all this as I can. Let this have as much time to start its curing process. So we're going to work on putting a coat of the metallic paint on the jar. But let's take a quick look here at what the temperature of our resin is. So that's the overhead. So 92.8. Okay, so actually it's not doing too bad. The room temperature in here is content temperature 75, so the resin is starting to set. I like to pour this at about 105. It's a little hotter than some of the Alumilite folks do. 105, 110, because it is moving slower, so I can get away with that. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye on, is that temperature being 105 or so. So we've got about 10 degrees to go. All right. And I see that Maria's here and my mom's in here. My dad is in here somewhere. At least he was. I saw him pop up. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's see. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to put this resin back over here. Now, just a little while ago, I was able to get the primer coat onto the wood for our jar. So I made a little stand. It's real simple. It's just a screw that holds that up. Remember, if you do that, I put a hole in the very bottom of it, and I'm going to brush this around because it's not quite as uniform as I want it to be just yet. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry to do this, but it's easier to see what's going on. Let's go to the overhead here for you. And if you can see up underneath here, I've got a little bit of puddling. And I just want to spread that puddling out. All right. Now, I got a lot of ideas. And had I gotten this primer on earlier, good morning, Brian. And Derek, how you doing? Good to see you guys. I'm just doing a quick morning wing. I'm glad you joined me. Had I gotten this completely dry, I was going to tape off some sections. And it doesn't mean that I can't come back later on and still do what I had in mind. And another angle, let's see what that other angle, now you can't really see much for that. So that, I've got that spread back around, and I'm going to check this guy now. I have to concede, admit that I never actually finished hollowing it out. All right. Now, that's neither here nor there to me right now. I still have the tendon on it. So if I don't like the way this looks, if I don't like the way it comes out at all, I can still chuck it up and return the whole shape. That's kind of a nice thing about leaving things partway finished. And with this kind of finish, it's not going to hurt it if I put it back on the lathe and do just a little bit of something here or there just to get the tendon off. All right, so this is the Battleship Gray primer. And again, I'm just making sure there's no big puddles on there. The Rustina system is really cool. This is a piece, now I know I'm running a green screen, chroma key, so when I pick this piece up, it probably will look weird to you. I'll look over, it's probably got some shimmer in it. This has been done with both bronze and copper. The copper is the really green, and the bronze is the darker colors, if you can see it in the way that is looking. I'm not sure if you can. So that's kind of what we're going after. And I'm going to kind of just set this back off to the side. This is distracting green. So the primer that I use, this gray, is a Battleship Gray. Oh, that's the bronze. I put the primer over here, excuse me. You can tell I'm really organized today. There's the gray primer. Now, it's a smooth primer. There's also a primer called Road Rash, which I chose not to use for this particular project. The Road Rash, and I'm going to shake this up and open it for you, has a bunch of texture built into it. Hey, Corey and Lorianne. Good to see y'all this morning. So the Road Rash primer here, and when I open this up, I'll see if I can see, if you can see the chunks in it. I'll take a, well, I don't want to mix that. I want to see, I think I've got enough sticks here to work with. If I can show you it's got texture. And actually, this one's been open for a while. The texture is starting to set up a little bit down in the bottom. But if I scrape it loose, this one's about a year old. So you can see, there we go. Yeah, I'm in the overhead. You can see how it's got texture in it, and it will make your piece heavily textured. I didn't want that much texture on this particular piece. And now that I've stirred this up, it's doing fine. It's just been sitting for a while, hasn't been stirred. So if you want a really heavy texture, the Road Rash is great. This, one of the things I like about working with a product like this, and not to encourage poor work, poor turning, poor ethics, if you will, in your turning quality. But if you have a piece that just came out crazy and it's got a lot of tear out in it, or you just weren't that happy with the finish, or you just didn't feel like sanding, that's another one. This is a great system because you don't have to worry about that, because all those, we won't call them imperfections, but we probably should. Those imperfections, if we're honest, disappear when we put a textured finish on. You have an echo. Do I really? It might be, I shouldn't, but I might have, no, let me see if my microphone over here is on. The TVs are both in mute. Let me check, I hate when I do have an echo. Echo. Let me jump in here real quick and see if I have a microphone turned on. Shouldn't be coming in there, but you never know. Let's see if we can't make this go away regardless. Speakers are muted. The microphone